Our timing is a little different. This is Monday, February 3. The whole story really is Wuhan, Gesundheit. The situation is peculiar. We know that China is in a pandemic state. We've got pretty good idea that it's going to damage the Chinese economy for a while. How much demand in the China economy will be deferred and how much lost, no good way to know. We know that China will spend an immense amount of money trying to rescue its economy, but China has already been doing that. So China debt-based stimulus is going to pile on more debt-based stimulus. The movement of Wuhan outside of China, all we know is that it is. It seems at this hour of this day that in Western nations with advanced medical systems, we're able to quarantine at borders, catch the ill before too much contagion, although the Wuhan flu seems to be much more contagious than the ordinary influenza. Its mortality is only perhaps 1/5 of SARS was, but it is much more contagious. So the reaction at financial markets, China's got a hole blown in it. So by the end of last week and still this morning, mortgage rates have fallen back down to the mid-3s. We are an inch from the all-time lows again, as we were in September. The two all-time lows were in 2012 and 16. If Wuhan spreads further sideways into the third world, Africa is what's on everybody's screen, then we'll go lower. The credit markets here in the U.S. already forecast a Fed rate cut soon, which leads to the next part of the watching that we're going to be doing. We now will have two sets of data. We will get U.S. economic data and global economic data, which is pre-Wuhan, still to be released. And we won't get post-Wuhan data for really almost a month. At the end of this week, we'll get job data for the month of January from the U.S., pre-Wuhan. There's some flickers that the U.S. economy may have been slowing through the holidays. Can't tell yet. If it does turn out that the U.S. economy was slowing going into Wuhan, then the chance for even lower rates is there. But I think most people who watch this thing, housing is fine. Housing is doing just fine. The demand in cities nationwide, the receiving end of migration from the countryside to cities, and IT employment in which everybody who goes to work is an IT employee, just fine. So don't worry about that part of it. Really, I mean, it's disgraceful, but what we're up to is profiteering on Wuhan through lower interest rates because of a slower global economy. And on that, have a good week.